Really exploring the experiences and the perspectives of Canadian post-secondary institutions. And I have a number of colleagues who are presenting. So we will all be talking about our experiences in preparing teachers and educational assistants to learn and support the assistive technology that they will undoubtedly encounter in their classrooms as they work with many students that they will have. So it's really to begin a conversation on what are we doing in our universities and colleges in preparing. If we look at how we're preparing teachers to support students who use AT, and actually just students who have disabilities or special needs in general, a survey was completed taking a look at teacher views of their preparedness in British Columbia, and 43% of a sample of BC teachers reported feeling unprepared to teach the diverse range of students in their classrooms. And I know from my own practice, my consulting practice, and working with the teachers that I'm now working with, they do feel that they are unprepared to support students who have a range of disabilities. And multiple studies have shown that the majority of teachers of students with special needs consider themselves to lack knowledge of AT specifically. So I think I know that when I'm looking at my teaching and my research, this is where I'm targeting it, is how to better prepare teachers, and what are the best ways of doing that. So these are realities. I don't need to tell you that we now have inclusive policies and practices. There is this increasing use and a benefit of using assistive technology as we get better at doing research around particular tools and just even outside of looking at AT, looking at, as I said before, the range of tools that are available to support all students' learning. No institution was found to require an AT course as part of their program, and that's not really that surprising.
It's great to see all of you here to problem solve with us about how to move this forward. In terms of the services that we provide for our students, they get to use Kurzweil, and I think they have a fair bit of support. But in terms of what Donna is talking about, in terms of providing education for future educators, I don't think are quite up to the mark yet. But I think that the college is now becoming interested. But what in fact we have in the Developmental Services Worker Program, we have one course in augmentative communication, and the students are introduced to some software called BoardMaker. A lot of colleges tend to have courses just in general using technology, how to use computers. Some of them even talk about how to access the free ministry licensed software. Brings up another issue that's a big one for the colleges and universities, is how do we find a way to afford to buy this software? We're all doing different things all over the place, so I think it'd be very helpful to have some kind of standards, things we can measure ourselves against.
But there's not a lot of instruction just saying, this Kurzweil program, it can use to facilitate students reading in this area. Or WordQ is a great add-on program to Microsoft Word. Word Prediction, it's great. There's no specific instruction talking about how technology can be used for individual students. So in the following year, we will focus on a lecture specifically on teaching with technology. We're looking to improve, but currently at my faculty, and I'm sure other faculties as well, there's not as much as is needed in terms of technology instruction.
I designed and teach a course for KDU University. I designed it in 1998, 2 half-credit courses. They're now called Assistive Technology. 1 half-credit is called Assistive Technology Access to Literacy, and the other is called Assistive Technology Access to Learning and Leisure. That's at the university level. I also teach an online course for the Nova Scotia Community College, and that's through the Health and Human Services program for EAs and so on, and that's focused on AAC. The structure of our program is quite different than what you're talking about, and I'm referring to the graduate program that I teach for KDU University. The literacy program, we start with an overview of what is literacy? How do you learn to read? We're finding that a lot of our teachers are coming in without that kind of detailed knowledge. And if you don't have that kind of knowledge about the literacy process, reading and writing, you cannot make the match to the student, and you cannot make the match to the appropriate assistive technology. So reading and writing, we do task analysis. And again, we've been running it since 1998, and we've run, I don't know how many students through classroom teachers, program support teachers, and again, it's at the graduate level. Unfortunately, it's still an elective.
My name is Roberta Thompson, and last year I taught computers and special needs at McGill University. It's part of their certificate program in inclusive education. The course is only offered once every 2 years, and it's a mandatory course for them. Yeah. Yeah, but it's a certificate program, and it's for people who are already out in the field. They come into it, some of them with a bit of knowledge of AT stuff, but some without any knowledge. And we also had teachers from some of the First Nations boards up in northern Quebec.
I also teach a course face-to-face at the U of A on assistive technology, access for all learners, and it's an interesting course because we allow fourth-year undergrads to take it and graduate students to take it, and what I just do is kind of differentiate. The graduate students have to do more into the research, and my focus, I have a lab or a cart that has a lot of assistive technology, and in Alberta we tend to focus a little bit more on Read Write Bold and some of those kinds of things. But I try to take the focus off any particular tools and talk about the process and what you need to think about as a teacher having a student that uses these tools in your classroom. Set framework, participation model, how do I be a good consumer? You can find the stuff. The stuff isn't hard to find. And in fact, what I send most of them to do is go back to your schooling, go back to your closets, if they are in the classroom, and find out what you got, and how are you going to thoughtfully and systematically put that into action.
We have some particular questions that will guide your discussion. So we really want to know about any post-secondary AT courses that are offered within your jurisdiction and by whom. So these don't have to be at the university or the college level. This could be school district or other organizations. If clinics are offering courses or workshops, you can include those as well. If you know of standards, or if you think that standards should be guiding this, then we want to hear what your thoughts are on that. And then what are the knowledges and the understandings and the competencies that we should be striving to develop in our teachers? What sorts of instructional models are followed? What is effective? Whether they're standalone, whether it's more of an infusion model. What sorts of opportunities for practice are there? And then I think also for those of us who are teaching at the university or college level, what incentives or supports are available for us, resources for us to get to know the AT and to incorporate that into our coursework. And I guess also for teachers in school districts and other professionals. So are there incentives for you to be learning more about AT and to incorporate that into your practice?
So how people know, how you teachers are aware of existing technology?
But, in terms of resources that you have available to you, to learn about AT yourself, but also to use it in your practice. Particular?
Well, we spoke about wanting to get together with a federal resource sharing community.
Yes.
Thumbs up. And to really try and work with an action research kind of model that like Karen was talking about this morning.
Perfect. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that I've always been very frustrated with, is that we are so polarized by having education be provincial responsibilities, and there's so much reinvention of the wheel, first of all, and to me a lot of that is wasted resources that could go into other things that could benefit the greater whole, right? So yeah, I mean, I'd be all for looking at a federal kind of supports in terms of resources, in terms of even to get a think tank together.